On this episode of Deconstructing the Home Show, I want to talk for just a minute about ways you can beat out your competition in finding fantastic real estate deals. And all I can really speak to are things that I've done to legitimately beat out competition and grow a business in areas that have begun receiving literally national attention, let alone city and statewide attention, but national attention to some of the areas that I'm currently investing. So that means I have dozens, if not hundreds of investors looking at these areas. How am I still finding deals and working and making great returns on the investments in areas that are now really popular? There's a couple things you can do. Number one, don't chase the same thing everyone else is chasing. So if you're in an area that a lot of homes are getting rehabbed and flipped and sold, maybe you can find something else you can do in that market other than what 90% of people are focusing on. Can you purchase land? Is land available? I know a lot of the times the first thing that will happen in an area is homes begin to get rehabbed, but there will be a lot of infill lots that potentially aren't getting worked on. They aren't being looked at because your beginning investor doesn't want to do a new build product. That's a different strategy. It's a different thing to work on. So maybe instead of buying the houses, you can buy the land and then put together plans and then sell those to an actual end investor who's going to build the houses. Can you be figuring out buy and hold strategies instead of fixing and rehabbing right away? Can you hold some of your products for a longer period of time so you can be paying more than your competition is paying for the same house, but you just have a different strategy for keeping the product for a longer period of time so you can wait out and beat people and acquire the assets? Is just going to take you a little bit of a longer time to get paid out on something. Additions have been fantastic in the houses that I've bought because I've now regularly paid above what I would pay for on a per square foot basis for a house, but I've been able to add an addition. And I know that I can add an addition for X dollars per square foot. I can sell something in this area for X dollars per square foot. And so I can make up a difference there by doing an addition. But then maybe even saying, hey, look outside of where the main area of focus is in your local area. Sometimes that will be a single neighborhood or historic district. But what about the fringes around that? What is happening? Put a pin in the middle of that neighborhood, draw a 1 mile or half mile circle. Where does that put you? Where are those areas? Could those areas be something that you be a trendsetter and you push to do the next cool house in that areas? I've done that 3 or 4 times now as areas that I've worked in have gotten really popular. Everyone wants to invest in them. And so I'll just shift. Even it's a couple blocks sometimes, but you can now buy homes dramatically less. And yeah, maybe it's going to be a little bit more difficult to sell, or maybe you can't do quite as high a level of finish out, or maybe you just got to be really careful about mitigating your job costs and estimating lower. But there are absolutely ways in every single market that you can find that you can be involved in investing in real estate and be doing things that are a little bit different from what everyone else is doing. You can also look at auxiliary businesses. If you want to work in real estate, but there aren't any good deals in your local area, find ways that you can assist investors or people who are paying more for these houses. I'm considering starting a home renovation side of my business because I look at houses all the time that don't work for my flipping numbers. But if I could connect with a realtor who is a client who wants to buy in this area, I have a side of my company that goes and then rehabs those houses. I have a track record of in these areas, and now we're at market value. And I don't have to worry about the selling time, the holding time, financing. All that's being taken care of. My design expertise and my contractors are all that's being leveraged. So those are just a few examples, and there's a myriad of more ones. Sit down, get creative, think about it. That's a beautiful thing about real estate. It lends itself to almost infinite variation and different types of real estate that you can be doing. But then again, also keep in mind, maybe your local area isn't the best place to invest. And then figure out how you can scale a business by moving into a different area. Maybe you can be a passive investor and you can find investors in areas that are hot to give money, work with them, learn from them, and still realize some of the returns. A lot of options. Get creative and you will absolutely be able to figure out ways to beat your competition. I'm doing it all the time. I'm continuing to innovate, to do different products, to come up with different things, and continue to keep my business growing even in areas that are really hot at the moment.